Hey everyone, you're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and here is today's comic, Martian Manhunter number 3, 12-issue maxi series. You may say, hey Ash, I noticed you got the A cover. I thought you always got the B cover. I don't think there is a B cover. I didn't see. And my store pulls only B covers for me. They pulled this. So it makes me think I'll have to do some research. Because I didn't even notice it when I got home. Because this cover's kind of, it doesn't have the traditional trade dress. So I didn't even think about it. And I did buy the A cover of the first one because I liked it better. But now, I'm kind of, whatever. It doesn't matter. So this is kind of I don't want to say it's a controversial comic, but it's a controversial comic. But not controversial for the normal reasons, which is like politics and other things. This one's controversial because of the art. And also because DC fans are really, I'm going to say a stupid word right now, persnickety. They hate their heroes and their characters messed with. It's ridiculous. Being an old school Marvel guy and just watching like how Marvel fans, like you could just destroy Marvel characters and Marvel fans just come back for more. Oh, give Wolverine bone claws. Oh, give me more, give me more. Oh, let's take the adamantium out of Wolverine. Oh, give me more, give me more. Let's give him hot claws. Oh, I love it. Give me more, give me more. Okay, that's a little extreme, but it's kind of true, right? Where like DC fans, if you tweak just a little bit, oh, he took the trunks off of Superman. Superman's dead to me. It's like, what? DC fans are hardcore traditionalists. They don't like change, and they're quick to turn off their books. Like I'm done. I won't buy anymore. It kind of reminds me. I've lived in San Diego pretty much my whole life. I'm a football fan. I'm a Chargers fan. And being a Charger fan was a hard thing because they always lose. They just never. Well, they would be good. They'd get in the playoffs and then they'd always break your heart. They've only been to the Super Bowl one time, and then of course they lost. But here's the thing. I moved to Colorado in 2000. Lived there for 17 years. And I got to be immersed in Bronco country. And I tried to like the Broncos. They were never my team, but, I tried to root for them as like a secondary team and appreciate the town was a Bronco town. And I like when people root for, their home team. It's easy to hate on fans. Like when I was in San Diego, you like the Broncos, F you. But I'm in Denver, and it's like, you like the Broncos, all right, respect, because I'm in Denver. I got a chance to go to the AFC Championship game many years back when they played Pittsburgh, and I want to say this, what's his name? Anyways, they played Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship. It was the first time that ever in the new Broncos Stadium. God went there. It was all exciting and just electric. It was a great experience. And then the Broncos started to lose the game. And by halftime, they weren't looking so good. And the stadium booed their team off the field during halftime. I'm like, this is the AFC champion. The winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl. Now, I come from San Diego where it's like, we made it to the AFC championship. That is our Super Bowl. And the one year we did go to the Super Bowl and lost, our team came back. Like there was a celebration at the stadium welcoming the team back and like, hey, give them like the old good try, like fans were just different. And why are you telling us this story, Ash? We don't give a shit about football. Okay. The reason is I'm kind of comparing DC fans remind me of Bronco fans and Marvel fans kind of remind me of San Diego. Like they're just more forgiving, and DC fans are like, F you. If it's not the greatest thing ever, they can suck my balls. Like, anyways, all right. So on to Martian Manhunter. If you've tuned out of this series, if you tried it and tuned out, I don't think I'm going to get you back. The art hasn't changed, but I can say the art is standing out less to me. It's still weird. But as I read it, I'm kind of getting used to it. I'm kind of like, my mind, my subconscious is telling me, like everything doesn't have to look realistic. I'm okay with like super stylized stuff. Not all the time. I'm not going to go seek it out, but I'll experiment with it. I'll try it. And if the story is good and captivating, then it can overpower the art. And I honestly do see some of the qualities in this artist. He's really actually able to capture dramatic moments. And I was noticing that in this book. So in this story, we get to, this is my favorite of the series so far, and that's a good sign because we're on issue 3. Each issue has been getting better and better. If it's on an upswing, that's what you want your series to go. And also, I'm starting to value this artist because, yes, his stuff may look weird and like an acid trip, but it really serves the character Martian Manhunter well, especially when he's, metamorphosing into this weird alien demonoid thing. It just works. And so in this one, we're seeing Martian Manhunter tell his partner who he is, which is sort of giving us, the reader, an origin story. If you remember the last issue, she shot him and everything. So he goes on about this story about the real John Jones. I thought this was glossing past this. The real John Jones was on this case, and John Johns had been wandering around the planet Lost, and they go into how he got here. I kind of just this old man did this experiment that zapped him through space and time, which they didn't really go into much detail. I'm hoping the further issues go into more detail about that because it really feels glossed over. And so he wandered the earth kind of staying hidden and stuff until he came across this John Jones character who he identified with as a fellow Manhunter. And they kind of do this whole montage thing here, and he's explaining how he took the life. He didn't take his life as far as like killed him, but he ran across him during this case, and where he gets killed, and he takes him and he buries him and stuff. And he talks about how on Mars there's a tradition where when someone dies, another person takes their form for a period of time, which on Earth is like 10 days, so that the families can have their last moments and remember them living. And it's just the thing that the Martians do. Well, he had done this, finished his 10-day cycle, and buried him and did his whole thing. And he's going back, and then he's like, "I'm sorry, Diane. It felt too good being seen. I could not go back to being myself. I couldn't stop being him." So he transforms back into John, which you can identify with. This guy is like the loneliness that he must feel. I mean, he's in this book. You find out not only is he away from Mars, but he's hundreds of thousands of years in the future, and so there's no way he can go back. And he's the last Martian. Like the loneliness he feels, and of course, humans think he's a monster and stuff. It's like it's really terrifying to consider, like the predicament that he's in, and it's really heartbreaking. And that's something that this book was conveying to me that I was really kind of falling for. Here we see a scene where John Johns, he's in his apartment, and he's watching, and they're on the news. They're talking about this monster rescued him, which was him, and he realizes like Earth is not ready for him. And so they have more flashbacks of the case and all this stuff, and trying to do different things. When she shot him, he needed to heal up, so he needs to get what he calls protein and stuff. So they go to the gas station, and he promises her, "Hey, you heal me, I will tell you the whole story." So then we're back into real time, and she's like brings him the food. She's kind of still disgusted with him, and he wraps up the story and stuff, and he's like, everything is like, "I let you down, Diane, but please, after all this time, though I may not be John Jones, you must keep my secret." And then a little flashback scene. "I'm sorry, Mean. A partner doesn't push secrets. Can't have no trust like that." And she thinks about it, and she's like, "No, screw you." And he's like, "Diane, And at this moment, I'm sitting here going, what the fuck? Like, what is he supposed to do? Like, she's all mad or whatever, but like, no empathy at all. Of course, it's easier for the reader to have empathy because we've seen every part of the story and not just one side, which is, she's only seen her. And then he's like, I understand you want to lash out, but if you tell, who'd believe I was an alien? Who could you tell? They'd call you crazy, and there's all that stuff. And you find out, like, he's been reading her mind, and he's not trying to, but she's so angry that he talks about, like, I'm sorry, your anger is making your thoughts so loud. I'm trying not to listen, which, of course, just angers her more. I was like, right, you'll forgive me if I don't trust your answer. Ashley Adams is still out there. If we work case separately until she's safe, then you're safe. But I don't ever want to see John Jones again, knowing something else is wearing his face. Hello, are any of you out there? And so we get the girl Ashley, the one that they're looking for, and she's being this experiment. And she's like, my skin, it moved. And something's conducting an experiment on her, and you can tell by these little thought balloons, this is like the psychic speech of the Martians. So there's another Martian on Earth, which you kind of knew already from the first issue. And then we see who it is. And he's like, thanks to the Manhunters. And it's just like terrifying. And this was really cool. I liked this book. Like I said, this is the third book, and it's my favorite so far, each one getting better than the next. And I really like this one because it felt like a detective story. It felt like a crime mystery story, like A Silence of the Lambs. Well, not quite to that level, but it's building to that, And this is kind of reminding me of what people complain that Batman's not doing. Like they want more detective work and stuff. And you get that in this book. And then you also get this origin of Martian Manhunter, which, unless you're a longtime DC fan, you probably don't know. This is not an A-list character. So I don't know his origin, and I'm fascinated by learning more about it. I'm liking this essentially year one type story of his first beginnings as John Jones, and trying to solve this case and what's going on and the world building. The only thing that's weird about it is the art, but like I said, it's kind of growing on me, and it's really kind of suitable for the alienness. I'm going to go back to this page here, the final page. You can see if you agree with me. When he draws humans, it stands out that it looks weird, but when he's just drawing this, do you sit there and go, oh, the art's terrible? No, I mean, it looks really alien and wicked. It's when you see this that you're just like, and this isn't even really a gross violation, like it's not really a great example. But it's only when he draws humans that it looks weird. I'm enjoying it, and the art's kind of growing on me a little bit. It's not really, it's not a deal breaker on the book for me, if I say it that way. So this is something maybe check out. I'll keep reviewing it, see what you think. If you're only judging it from the first book, maybe that's not the greatest thing. If you read it and were like, like I said, each one's getting better. It's a good crime story, and I'm liking this. This is a solid, well-written, best thing so far I've read from Steve Orlando. So keep that up, and thanks for watching.